In the previous class, we did some data scraping. We imported data from opendoors.pk and we started with importing first of all row variable, then we imported a column, then we imported each cell, and we combined all these bits and pieces into one data frame. So extracting data for a single company was complete. In this lecture, what we are going to do is to automate this whole process. So we did the data extraction for OGDCL in the previous class. Today we are going to extract data for one more company and then append the extracted data to the previous data, and we'll keep on doing this. For this exercise, we would need just the company symbols, and we shall automate it all this process in a single cell. So the code that you are seeing on the screen is from the previous class. So let's quickly go through it so that we refresh our memories. We imported the OS module, that is operating system. We also imported NumPy. The BS4 package is for handling the HTML documents and HTML tags. We also imported pandas, and then Selenium is the web driver which is based on Chrome. This specific package is required to open web pages and load the web page. Once it is loaded, then grab all its contents. Then comes the part of the Beautiful Soup package that further processes the web contents. So I'll run this whole block of code. We get some messages, but don't worry. We started with the URL. The URL goes to opendoors.pk, and then at the end of this URL we have the symbol which identifies the company. So we shall have a list of symbols for each company. Then browser.getURL will open this page, and from that page the browser will get the page, and from there we shall get all the outer HTML. Then using the HTML parser property of the Beautiful Soup can handle HTML, it can handle other languages like XML, like other CSV, I think. So in this case, we apply the HTML parser property and we get a soup of all the page contents. Then from the soup, we first of all extract rows. So for rows, we define a variable row number, and then we create an empty Python list which we shall populate as we get data. So now on the soup object, we apply a method that is find all, and find all tags that have the TR tag. Now this specific code, this whole selected code, gives us a Python list which we can slice from. So the Python list will have elements separated by rows. So we can say row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, etc., etc. And then from each row, we wrote the row variables, the list of rows to a variable R. Then from this list, we again apply the find all method to find all sales tags. So these tags are then written to the column variable. Again, column is a Python list. So again, we can do slicing on column. So slicing first cell, slicing second cell. So last time we counted that there were 14 columns in our table. So from 0 up to 14, we loop through all the TDs in the column. So once we slice the first element from the column, we name it cell. And from this element, there will be lots of text, lots of elements, HTML tags, but we need to extract the text out of those tags. So we apply the .text method. So once we get the cell contents, we further process it, and we observe that this specific list of characters were present in our text, so we remove them with nothing strange, with empty string. Similarly, if there were any spaces, we remove them. So once we get a clean text, we now append that clean text to the Python list that was previously created as empty placeholder. So we keep on doing this. From 0 up to 14 times, and this way we get all the cells from the first row. So once that is done, then we convert the Python list that we created to pandas data frame. And the pandas data frame, we also create the column name. So this specific part of the code says that the column name will be equal to string y plus 2017 is a number, rn is a number, minus 1 is a number. So let's say that in the first run, rn variable is 1. So when you deduct rn from 2017, it will become 2016. And once we deduct 1 from it, it will become 2015. But 2015 is still a real number, so we convert that to a string number. And that string is then combined with y. So the whole text will look like y 2015. So this will be our column name, and we will write this column name to the data frame. So this was our first row. Now for today's lecture, our first task is to identify variable parts in the above code. We have to identify those parts of the code that might vary from company to company. So if we look at the code, which part of this specific loop or which part of this specific cell might vary for another company. So starting from the URL, OGDC is a company symbol, so of course this part needs to be changed. This will be different from for a different company. So this is the first thing that we need to change. So the first item that we need to change is company symbol. Let me mark it a markdown. Now let's go back to the code. So we need to change the company symbol. Once we create a loop for each company, in the loop the symbol should change. So this part of the code is variable. These are fixed. We don't need to change them because there is no element that will change for another company. The range is fixed. It should not change. And over here, once we get the data frame, and if we repeat this code again, the previously obtained data frame will be overwritten. So we need to do something about it. For a second company, we need to do something about this part, because if we run this code for another company, the previous data frame will be rewritten. And we also need to change the this part will remain fixed for all companies. So there are two parts of the code which need to change. One, the data frame name, and second, the company symbol. And let me type the second thing as well. Data frame name. These two parts should change. Now let's go to the code that I have prepared according to the discussion that we had right now. So what I am doing here is to define a Python list, and I am writing the company symbols to this specific list. So I call this Python list as a symbols. So this Python list has two elements, two members. One is OGDC, second one is Atak Petroleum Limited. And from this Python list, we shall extract the symbols one by one, so that the symbols are variable. So let's call the current symbol as this symbol. So if I am processing OGDC, this symbol will become OGDC. If we are processing APL, this symbol will become APL. Now this symbol is a variable. It will change from one company to another. So let's extract the first item from the symbols. So from the symbols, I'm slicing the first item that is located at index 0. So this symbol is equal to symbols 0. Now we have to change the URL part of this specific text. So I am putting a cut over here at the equal. So I'll delete this part and make it variable. So how do we do that? So this is the same old URL, and I put a cut on the equal sign. So the text is now complete. All this text is enclosed in single quotes. Plus, you remember that we can concatenate text with the symbol plus, and plus this symbol. So plus this symbol means that we have written OGDC to this symbol. So this whole URL once run will read just like previous URL. And this part is the same that we used in the previous code till this. And again, this code, I haven't applied a for loop to this code so far. I'm just processing the two variables one by hand, not through loop. These two variable, company symbol and data frame name, I'm trying to process them manually. Once we understand, then we can apply a loop so that we automate the process for each company. So let's go to the same loop again. We created empty Python list, extracted all the TRs, that is table row 0. So the loop starts from 0 up to 11. And so table row at 0, table row at 1, 2, 3, it will go up to 11. And I'm doing a trick over here. Remember that the first row will have TH tags, that is the table headers, and all other rows will have TD texts. So I am putting a condition: if it is row number 0, so define a variable cell tag that is equal to th, and if it is not, if the row number is not 0, means if it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in all other cases, the cell tag will be equal to td. So this part, I have made this part variable as well. So instead of using, like previously we used td, I'm using now cell tag. And remember, if you define a variable in Python, it becomes known to Python and you do not need to put strings or quotes around it. If you are entering text that is not previously defined in Python, you have to put quotes around it. But once you define it, and so the next time you can use the variable without quotes. So you see that over here I'm using find all cell tags. So if the row is 0, the cell tag will be th. If it is not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the cell tag will be td. And I'm not putting any single or double quotes around this cell tag because now it is a Python variable. Now use the cell tag instead of using the fixed td or th. So we did that. Now from the, we have 14 columns in the row. So from 0 up to 14, we extract the first cell that is located at index 0. We extract its text and we remove and replace this unwanted characters with empty string, and we also remove any space between the cell context with empty string. Once we have cleaned all this, we append them to the Python list. Now the second part of the code that we needed to process was the data frame name. So the idea is that if it is a first company, then we create a data frame. If it is a first company, so there is no previous data frame, so we create a data frame. If it is not a first company, it is second, third, fourth or fifth company, then previous data frame already exists. We shall create a temporary data frame, process that data frame and append to the previous data frame. So there is no need to replace the previous data frame or recreate the previous data frame. So the logic is, if it is the first company, we create a data frame. If it is a second company, we create a temporary data frame, we process it and we append it to the first data frame. So the first data frame will keep on accumulating new and new and new data. So this is the idea. So here we go about it. So if first row, create df, otherwise add to it. So we say if it is row number 0, so we create a data frame. Okay, else the data frame, this data frame is created column by column. We will do the same about the companies, but at this time for each row we create a separate column. So if it is a first row, we create a column and we define a data frame from the Python list. If it is not a first row, so we create a temporary data frame which we call df2. We write the Python list to it. Then we create a column name for it, and we then just add the second data frame to the first one and we give it this column name. So the first data frame, add a column to it from the newly created data frame. So once all this process is complete, we then transpose the data frame. We then extract the first column from it so that it can serve as a column names. And then we then get the data excluding the first row, because the first row had columns and we have already obtained it. So from row 1 till end we get the data out of it, and then we assign the extracted head as column names to this data frame. So once we run this, we get a data frame like this. So this is the data frame for the OGDC company. We did this previously line by line. So let me run all these one by one. We had done this before this one. Since it's a single line, so it will run in one piece. And steric means that it is still processed. Once you get a number means it has been executed, so you should see the output. So this is the output. So now we have a very nicely formatted data frame that contains data from year 2018 up to 2009, and with all the appropriate column names. Now let's go to our second company. Process the second company. What parts of the code to change to get data of the second company and add to that data, to the DFT data frame. So remember, previously we defined the Python list and we obtained the first element out of it. This time we are getting the second element. So this symbol now is equal to 1, and I call I'm creating a variable and I'm calling this is company number 2. We'll use this variable once we append this company data frame to the previous company's data frame. So URL doesn't change as this variable is changed from here, so we do not need to change the URL here. This part of the code is exactly the same as in the previous case. This part of the code is exactly the same as in the previous company. This part is exactly the same. Again, these are the same. Now here we are trying to get a new data frame for this new company. So I am putting a condition: if company is equal to 2, then do what? So this data frame df, what we are going to do, we are creating another data frame out of it, df2, and I'm transposing this df. Okay, we had done the same with the previous one as well. Then we obtain the header column, we obtain the rest of the data excluding the header column, we append the column names to it, and we reset the index. We drop the index column that we had, and now we get the df2 data frame, and in this we have the data for APL. So let me run this specific full code. So data scraping, if you are doing this for, let's say, 100 of companies, it will take almost 10 to 15 minutes. So now the code is complete, and now we have another data frame. Okay. So previously we had saved DFT from the first company, and from the second company we obtained DF2. Now it is the time to append both the data frames to one another. So we run this, and now the DFT has accumulated everything. So we will have data for two companies in one place. So now you see OGDC and then APL. And we can keep on repeating this process. Session we are going to create a loop for symbols, and it will accumulate, let's say, data for 10 companies.